Our goal is to do things that no other law firm has ever done before.
Our technology brings the future to you today.
We're the next era in the way legal transactions are handled.
Perfect. Okay, welcome back to the webinar, everybody. Sorry about the power outage, and we're going to try this for a third time. So in today's webinar, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be showing you specifically Facebook lead ads. And what Facebook lead ads does is it creates a landing page directly within Facebook, and that allows you to capture leads on Facebook at a lower cost. And typically the cost is like $1 to $3 is a really good range, and it's very common to achieve that number. Whereas if you're driving traffic to a landing page, like on your website, for example, then I mean $5, $6 is extremely good. $8 to $15 is pretty typical for most agents across the board. So if you could get the same data, the same name, same phone number, same email directly from Facebook, why wouldn't you? The reason why some people aren't is because Facebook doesn't automatically notify you when you get these leads. You actually have to go to your business page and download them. I'm going to show you how to do that, but I'm also going to show you how to actually get notified about the leads as they're happening directly to your email. The program that I'm going to show you, and I'm going to give you the link, is called Zapier or Zapier, depending what country you're from. And this link that I'm going to give you will give you 100 free zaps. So I'm going to copy it right here. It's bit.ly/go Zapier, all one word. That link gets you 100 free zaps. Zapier is free to use, however, only to a certain number of zaps, so that's awesome that we can give you 100 free ones, but you'll see some of the programs that you can use say the word premium. So Salesforce is premium, Facebook lead ads is premium, Infusionsoft is premium. So that means you would have to pay $20 a month or whatever plan you opt in for. What Zapier does is it takes data out of one program and then puts it into another. So as an example, what we're going to do live today is if you get a Facebook lead, you're going to get notified about that, but you could also have it automatically go into your database. Now, Zapier works with over 750 programs, so there is a really good chance, like BombBomb's on here. Type in BombBomb, there it is there. Contactually is right here. Some real estate specific programs like Top Producer isn't working with us yet, or iExact, unfortunately. But there is a roundabout way to do something, and it's called email. So if you use this option here, the PARSER, what that does is you get a unique Zapier email, and that's where you would drive all your leads to. When your leads are driven to that email, then what it can do is it will scrape that data and then put it into your program or email it to you and your team or whatever you want it to do. The option that we're going to choose today is this one right here. So when I get a Facebook lead, I want to be notified about it. And there's also an option, SMS, so you can get text alerts about your leads as well, which is really cool. But to be simple, I'm going to do just the email today. So I'm going to use this option. And what we're going to do is we're going to do a Facebook ad targeting if I had an exclusive listing or a coming soon listing. I'm also going to do a Facebook ad about open houses. And then I'm going to do another Facebook ad about just solds. And we're going to create those ads together from beginning to end with the targeting, the ad creation, and you getting notified. So you can watch this video, pause, and implement as you go. I'm also going to email you the images that I use so that you don't have to redesign this stuff. Okay, so I'm going to go to Facebook. Now, you have to have a business page in order to get started. So if you don't have a business page, go to facebook.com/pages. When you're there, hit the Create Page button, and it's going to walk you through the process of creating a page. It's fill in the blank. What's the name? What's the address? What's the phone number? If you have an issue with this, I have a tutorial taking you through the whole process, so I'm not going to do it on this webinar because I'll waste other people's time. But if you can't go back in history and find that video, just message me and I'll get it to you. For all the rest of you that do have a business page, all you have to do is log into Facebook, click the drop-down arrow, and click Create Ads. And there's a question, is creating a business page, it is mandatory. So if you have a Facebook account, that's your personal page and profile, but in order to run any ads, you have to do it through your business page. Okay, so when you get here, you're going to have all these options. Your screen might look slightly different than my screen because they're always updating and split testing, stuff like this. But these are your options when advertising. You can drive traffic to your website. You can get engagement on your posts. So that's equivalent to you boosting a post, only it's more powerful because you have more options. The video views is if you want to get views on your videos. If you want to actually get contact information, you want to use this option, lead generation. So I'm going to click on lead generation, and then I'm going to rename it. So you're going to name it as the address that you're advertising. So I'm going to call it 123 Fake Street. Okay, so the very first option up at the top right here is a drop-down. You want to make sure that you select the proper business page because you might have more than one business page. So right now it's obviously on the wrong page for me. So I want to do this one called Local Real Estate Ads. It's like my testing page. All right. And then you, for the first time when you come here, it gives you the option. It says, please read and accept Facebook's terms. So you only have to do this once. So I'm going to do it right now with you. So I'm going to scroll down and I accept. Okay, I have accepted that. So keep an eye on this number up here. It says that I'm reaching 23 million people because I'm defaulted to Canada. If you're in the US, it's going to be everybody in the US. Now, because this is a specific new listing, I have a couple options. I could target just the actual listing. So say 653 ID. And I could choose the actual address that it is located. And they have a huge radius of 10 miles, so I could say just 1 mile around that radius and just do that particular neighborhood, for example. Now, the listing that I'm about to post, it's a 2-unit home. It has 2 kitchens with 1 roof. So that makes for a very good investment property. So I'm actually going to target all of Oshawa, but just know you can target just around the address itself. For this case, I'm going to target all of Oshawa and choose Oshawa. So there's an option above the map. It says everyone in this location. You want to make that to everybody who lives in this location. The reason for that is because maybe you live in a touristy area, or for us, we have a highway that people would be on if they're stuck in traffic, just checking Facebook and they would see our ads, but they're all the way over in Mississauga where they actually live. So I only want to target people who live in Oshawa. It defaults the age to 18. I've actually started putting mine at 35 and above because house prices are getting so out of whack. I'm not going to be able to target everybody in the city anyways, so I just think 35-year-olds have their school paid off hopefully by now and or getting married. You could lower it, go with whatever your gut feeling is, but I'm defaulting everything to 35. If you live in a very multicultural area and you only speak one language, you can type in that language. So I'll say English all. So that just removed 10,000 people because it was 230,000, and then I said English all, and that dropped it down to 220,000 people. So that's 10,000 people that I wouldn't be able to have a conversation with. Also, you'll notice when you add your city, it defaults it to a very large radius of 25 miles. So you want to change that to current city only. Unless, of course, you're targeting a larger area for some reason. So now we got it down to 64,000 people, which is awesome. Okay, I'm going to scroll down, and I'm going to do detail. I could just target everybody, but I'm going to see if I can narrow that down a little bit more. I'm going to say under detailed targeting, you can type. So if I say newly engaged 1 year, newly engaged 6 months, newly engaged 3 months, because these people have a good chance that they're going to be buying a home soon. Newly wed. And I want to do, not the first one, it says interest. So before you select something, make sure to read the option. I'm not choosing interest, I want the demographics. So I want newlyweds 1 year, newlywed 6 months, newlywed 3 months. So that's, I can see that dropped it to below 1,000 people, so there's not a lot of people in here. Another option is I want to say browse, demographics, relationship status, and I want to pick off the people that are engaged. Okay, so that bumped it up to 1,900 people, which is awesome. So there's no sweet spot. I mean, I like to try and keep mine personally between 1,100 and thousands of people. It could be 5,000, 3,000, 10,000, something like that. But there's also nothing wrong with targeting 100,000 if you're targeting the entire city. But if you're in the millions, it doesn't make sense for real estate. So you got to try and keep this number under 1 million and above 1,100, and whatever your sweet spot is. So for me, I'm going to keep adding a few more people. I'm going to say friends of newly engaged people because they're jealous and they want to move too. And I actually typed out a list for you. Let me open that up. I'm going to email this to you guys. It's a Word document of all of these that are already typed for you. Is postal code or zip code feasible? That was a question I just received. And yes, totally. I don't know if this will work in Canada. I actually defined it. So USA only. You guys in the United States are way luckier than us up in Canada because you can target people who are likely to move. You can target homeowners, first-time home buyers. You can target people based on their net worth. You can target people based on the length of time that they've been living there. So I could say only target the people that have been at their home for 6+ years because they're likely to move. Demographics, I could say who are the people between this income. So if you have a starter home, you could target people that have starter incomes. And if you have a luxury home, then you could target people with really high-end income. And then you can also target people based on net worth. And it's like 1 million to like 2 million or whatever. I don't know what the categories are, but it's options of between this and this, between this and this. So that is really cool that you guys can choose that in the United States. In Canada, you can't choose that. I want to try friends of recently moved, though. Yeah, so I can say friends of recently moved. That's cool. You know what? I'm going to try this and see if it works. I don't think it will, because I'm in Canada. All right, so this is a good example of it not working. See how I typed it in and it didn't give me the actual thing as a drop-down, just other suggestions. So because that's not going to work, I have to delete it. So what's our number? We're at 2,900 people. So that's pretty cool. I could target those people. That's fine. So I'm going to target that number. If you wanted to keep it really broad, you could remove all of these filters. I just think if you're going to advertise for the first time, you might as well target the 3,000 that have a higher chance of moving, and then you could target the entire city. Okay? So I'm going to target those people, and I'm going to exclude. So if I go exclude, I do not want real estate agents to see this. Oh, one thing I do want to include, though, is real estate. So I'm going to target people that are interested in real estate, and you're going to see this number is going to jump. There is one concern with that, though. So now we're up to 21,000 people. Awesome. The concern with that, though, is all the people that are real estate agents obviously have an interest in real estate, so they will be included in seeing your ad, which we don't want. So what I'm going to do is I want people who are interested in real estate or engaged or newlywed or blah, 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 but, and this is where I add the but if they're a real estate agent, if they're a real estate broker, exclude them. So I actually typed out the list for you. So if I scroll down, it's all the way at the bottom. So here's all of the interest, and I'm going to email you this list. So you would actually, it's going to take you about a half hour, so I'm not going to do it on this webinar. You can try copying and pasting. So if I copy it all and go back, and then under exclude, click paste. So this just excluded anybody who's interested in Brian Buffini. I added the Canadian Real Estate Association, but you guys in the States, like you would add Zillow, NAR, National Association of Realtors, your local boards. So don't just copy and paste the list without looking at it. You want to look at it and add the things that make sense to you. But anybody who likes like Market Leader, Inman News, Dotloop, Brian Buffini, like there's a good chance those people are real estate agents. So by me excluding that, I think this number just dropped by 1,000 or 2,000 people. So that just removed, even though I'm targeting people who are interested in real estate, which includes real estate agents, by me excluding the people interested in any of these things, it removed the 1,000 or 2,000 agents. And that's a pretty accurate number because there's about like 1,200 agents on our local board in Durham region. So that's pretty good. If you want to add more, you have to add more. So under job title, it won't work for me if I copy all of this, but it might work for you. So try copy and paste. And it didn't work. And I can tell it didn't work because there's a blue category with all the options under that category, but I'm adding another category called job title. So let's just type it in freehand. Real estate broker. And before I select real estate broker, I want you to read, I don't want you targeting the interest, I want you targeting the job title. So real estate agent broker. So I'm going to copy that, add. And now you'll see I have two blue lines. There's demographics targeting the people under their job titles and demographics targeting the people interested in real estate stuff. So let's keep adding some job titles. I'll add just a couple, real estate broker. Realtor as a job title. So when you're watching this video, spend the time to actually copy and paste each one of these to see if it's an option, plus edit your own. So I'm not going to add them all to waste your time in this video and bore you, but I already did most of the typing, and just copy and paste, and you will eventually start lowering your number and excluding real estate agents. Now, once you have all that typed up, you want to save the audience. That way you don't have to retype it in the future. So you'll click Save Audience, and then you'll rename it. It's going to be your name up at the top. So you're going to rename it. So I would say no agents in Oshawa, blah, blah, blah. So you can rename it whatever you want to name it as. That way you don't have to retype everything, and it really saves you a lot of time in the future. And the question says, is this document available to use? Yes, it is. I'm going to be emailing it to you when I email you the video. So when you rename this, you're going to hit the Save button. I'm not going to save it because I don't want to reuse it. But if you do save it, then let me scroll up to the top to show you how you can use it in the future. When you come back to create an ad in the future, you'll have an option here. It says Use Saved Audience. So you can click on that, and it'll be a drop-down of all of your saved audiences, and you can have a bunch of different ones. So that will save you a lot of time. Okay, so going down. Normally I tell you to edit placements, but we're going to leave it. I'll show you right now. Edit placements, everything's ineligible anyway, so that's why you can leave it as automatic. But in the future, they might add silly things like in videos and articles and stuff like that. So in the future, what I want you to do is click on Edit Placements, check on Facebook, there's an arrow, and all you need, I guess I will leave it on Instant Articles, but if they ever have it where it's eligible for video, the right-hand column, suggested videos, then you're going to want to deselect those three. So they're already ineligible, but if you come back in the future and they're checked off, then make sure to deselect them because you don't want any of the ones that currently say ineligible. So I'm going to leave it as automatic, but I just wanted to show you that as a concern. So this one, you don't really want your ads running for long periods of time because the statistics over time will drop. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a daily budget. The more the merrier, but to keep things cost effective, I'm going to say $5 a day. The higher the number, the better though. So $5 a day. And you don't want your ad running forever. You need an end date, because if you just set it $5 a day, your ad will run for $5 until your credit card is maxed out. So I'm going to change that to set a start and end date, and I'm going to have it running from today, and I'm going to change the end date around the 28th. So whatever, I'll let it go for a couple weeks. I'll go till Friday the 13th. Cool. Okay, so that's going to run, and it shows me for 15 days, and I'll probably be spending $75. If you're getting good engagement, then you want to change the price, come back and edit it. Change it to $10, $20, whatever's working for you. But this is just one ad. So you can see how one ad running for 15 days is going to work to $150. That can really add up quick, especially if you've got other advertising happening like Google ads and other Facebook ads. So be very cautious of the money that you're spending. All of this stuff, leave as is. So I'm not going to change any of that. I want you to leave it and hit continue. Now, because I said this is a coming soon ad, then I'm actually going to, it's coming soon, so it's not on the MLS yet. So I'm not going to drive people to the listing on our website because it's not there yet. So what I'm going to do is first I want to make sure that the proper business page is selected. So you want to make sure of that. And you can add your Instagram account, which I've already done on my other profile, but it's not done here. So I want to leave that. So if I don't add this, I'm not too sure if it's going to include the ad on Facebook or not, unless you do that. You can try it. Anyways, I think it will. I think the difference is if you hit create an account with Instagram, when a person sees your ad on Instagram, they'll be able to click to your Instagram profile and follow you. That's the main benefit of why you want to create your account here. But either way, I'm pretty sure even if you don't have an Instagram account, I'm like 100% certain that it will still show on Instagram to the other people who are logged in. Okay, so once you've done that and that, you're going to want to select, do you want to do a carousel ad? Most of you are going to do the single image ad. I'm actually going to do a slideshow because this is a coming soon, and I want to tease the people a little bit, so I'm going to create a slideshow. Click the add photo button, and I have to add some photos. So you're going to click on that button, and then you're going to navigate to your folder of where all your images are. I don't know where they would be on your desktop or what. This is taking forever. Okay, so I'm going to do this one, this one, this one, this one, this one. I'll do those. You can do up to 7. So it's slowly adding all the photos down here. If I don't like the order of them, I can click and drag and drop. So say I'm like, I want this kitchen first. You can just drag and drop. 1 second, this is the duration. So it's going to play that one image for 1 second and then move on to the next, which is like way too fast. And 3 seconds is almost too slow. So what you want to do is do 2 seconds, and that's kind of like the best option in my opinion. And then do a little bit of a fade between the two. And this is automatically going to create a video for us using these images. So I'm going to hit create slideshow. After the slideshow has been created, we can actually add captions to it by typing them out. A question says, what's the image size max to download? I would say keep it simple and just use whatever image sizes you have. And if it doesn't work, then you'll know that you have to change it. Okay, so there, that made the slideshow for us. You can manually add captions in here, so I might as well do it, show you how to do it. Add caption. And I'm going to add a caption right here and say legal duplex. All right, legal duplex. I'm going to add a new one with 2 kitchens. And then you can keep adding as you go. It's like 1 second at a time. So you don't want to add a whole paragraph because it only shows that one part of the caption for 1 second. So like you got to keep it real short and to the point. And you can add as many as you want. I'm going to do just those 2, and I'm going to hit save video. Okay, so my video is done. My captions are added. Okay, scrolling down. This is what the ad is going to look like so far, and it's a blank slate. So we have to add a call to action. We have to add some text. So I've already typed that out. Let me go to my document. So I'm going to call it exclusive listing coming soon. Put that in the headline. I need the text. Legal duplex, blah, blah, blah. Put that up here. So you can see as you're typing, or as I just copy and pasted, then it's going to slowly start building out the ad. So it says exclusive listing, coming soon, legal duplex, yada, yada. All right, that looks good to me. The link newsfeed description, you can leave that as being blank, but if you wanted, you could put your real estate information. Some of you have local laws that you have to say that you're a real estate agent with your brokerage and your phone number. Some of you even have to include a license number. So you can include that stuff in there if you wanted. The call to action, I want to say learn more because they want to learn more about the listing. They're not actually signing up for anything. Leave the URL. Leave that stuff. You can learn about it later, but you don't even have to touch it. And the pixel tracking, I mean, you don't have to touch that either. That's more complicated. You'll know if you paid $150 last month for Facebook ads and you got 20 ads, 20 leads, then you'll know it's working. The reason why people do this sort of more advanced stuff is because they have way bigger budgets and they're split testing between Google and Twitter and Instagram and Facebook and direct mail, and they're doing all this tracking. But if you've got a very limited budget, I'd say keep it easy on yourself. You don't have to do that. Now, we have to create our first lead form. So you're going to click on the new lead form. And I don't know why my screen is glitching like this. I'm just going to have to pretend that it's not. Hopefully you don't get have a seizure. Okay, so here's the welcome screen. So I can see the preview of when they click on that, what are they going to see? So I've already typed it out. I'm going to say book a showing and see more photos as the headline. So I can see that's where it went there. You can use the image that you uploaded of the video, or you could use a custom image. So maybe you had something branded or something, you could use that. I'm going to type the paragraph of what I want to let the people know what they're going to get. So I'm going to say all of this. Copy. Okay, it says investment property in North Oshawa with 2 kitchens, 4 bedrooms, 2 laundry, 4 parking, and 1 roof. Register for VIP access. It's free. We will only contact you about this property. It's okay if you are not interested. We have others that might be a good fit. As a buyer, you don't pay our fees. So I'm kind of trying to do some objection handling for why they wouldn't want to register. You can also call or text us directly. So I want the people who don't want to register but still have a question. They can reach me easily without having to register, and rather email. And I put my email. and then whatever real estate bylaw stuff you have to have. So in my area, I'd have to have my name. I'm a sales representative or a broker with the brokerage itself, and the brokerage phone number. Okay, so that's the welcome screen. You don't even have to use the welcome screen. There's an option you can flip the switch off, but I like using the welcome screen because I kind of do some objection handling, rebuttal before they are instantly forced to give me their information. Because if I have that turned off, the very next question or the very next thing that they see is going to be asking for their name, phone number, and email. So that scares some people. So I like to kind of work them into it. So right now it's defaulted to capturing their email and their full name. If you want to capture more information, there's an option that says show more. And you can say, for example, first name and last name. And then you could also do phone number. So I got their first name, last name, and their phone number. You could even capture their address, so city, province, postal code, or zip. I don't know why you would need any of this other stuff, but you could gather that if you wanted. But the less is more. The less you ask for, the more you're going to get of the people taking action. So I would say name, phone number, and email is the best option. Name and just email, or just email is 100% will get you more leads than anything else. But some of you like to have the phone number, so I would say do that at first. And if you're not getting a lot of leads, then remove the phone number and just include name and email, and you'll get more leads. And if you still aren't getting enough leads, then just remove name and have, oh wait, can you remove just name? Well, I guess name is default, so it has to have their name. So just name and email is going to give you the best results. Name, email, and phone number will give you better quality results, hopefully, but fewer of them. Okay, so I'm going to leave it as name, phone number, and email because that's how I roll. I like to call people. You can add custom questions like, are you thinking of moving? Are you working with a realtor? Are you currently financed? Again, less is more. So if you want quality leads, you could add these questions and have the people answer them. For me, I'll ask those questions on the phone, so I'm not going to include any of that. Now, you need a privacy policy. So let me click on this. It's mandatory. And I am going to give you a link. So on your website, so if you go to your website and scroll down to the very bottom, you should have a terms and or privacy page. So here's the one for this one here. You just have to find it because I don't know what your URL is. When you do find it, you can copy that URL. You can also, I'm going to give you this link, and you can just use my terms. This works. So I use the same terms and policy page for Google and Facebook, and it works. And it's not legal jargon. It's just written in plain English. I'm telling people I'm not going to sell your data, and this is how I plan on using it. And for me, that works, but if you want to look all nerdy, you could have legal text, but you're probably just copying and pasting from somebody else, and they copy and paste it from somebody else. So if you really wanted to have it right, get a lawyer, or just find your terms and user page that probably already exists. So this is the one I'm going to use, so let me go back to Facebook and paste the link in here. And I'm going to call it terms. And the reason for that is because when I scroll down, that little button, the word terms, will link to that URL so that people can actually read what we're going to do with their data before they hit submit, which is important. You could add other disclaimers if you want. Click that box and find out about it. I'm not going to do that. And then a thank you page. So after a person has filled in the form and giving us their name, phone number, and email, this is the thank you that they're going to get. Thanks, you're all set. Your info has been sent to, and you can change this to whatever you want. So I'm going to keep it simple and just leave it as that. But you could have a call to action that says, interested in booking a showing today, call me at 905-903-5442. Or you could have a call to action about house values. Hey, you're thinking of buying. Are you also thinking of selling? Because we can help you with determining the value of your home. Call us at, and then put your phone number. So use this space wisely, and I mean, you might as well. Now, you have to give the people an option to go somewhere. So I'm going to say visit my website, and let me go to my website, and what you would do if it was an exclusive listing is find the listing on your website. So here, I'm going to find this fake listing on my fake website and copy that link. But what you might have to do is go to your website, go to the map, and find it on the actual thing. Just if you don't have a listing, then just drive them to your homepage. So I'm going to drive these people to the actual listing itself and hit finish. Oh, I didn't add a button. View more photos. There you go. Okay, finish. Perfect. Okay, so here's our form here, and I should have titled it at the beginning. Darn it. Okay, I'm going to duplicate this, and I want to the next time when you're watching this video, if you make a form from scratch, you want to rename it. So I want to name it, I'll call it webinar exclusive form. Okay, I'll rename it as that, so I'll hit finish. Now I'm going to have two forms, one of them that's untitled and one of them that is titled. The reason why you want to title it is because we have to go into Zapier later to connect it. And if it's not titled, you're not going to be using the right form. Okay, so that form is done. Now I can scroll down. You won't always have to do this, but right now it's telling me that I have to certify compliance because I'm advertising about housing. And you can read their policy, scroll down, but it's basically going to say that you're not going to be racist and a bunch of other stuff. So I am not going to be racist, and I'm going to hit confirm. Okay, so confirm. And now that ad will be running. Now the problem with the way that we have everything set up now is it's awesome that the ad is set up and it's awesome that the ad is going to be running, but you are not going to be notified when a person fills in that form. So let me show you how to find these leads that you start getting. So what you want to do is go to the business page that you just created the ad for. You can search it up at the top, or you can find it over on the left. So I'm going to click on this. Then when you're at your business page, you're going to see an option at the top. It says Publishing Tools. So I'm going to click on that. And this is what you would have to do daily to find your leads, which is ridiculous. Nobody's going to want to do this, but I want to show you how to do it. That way you can at least get your leads in case you don't want to use Zapier. So you click on that, and then click on Lead Ad Form. And here it shows you the two forms that we created, and over time, it'll show you the number of people that registered on that form. And then you can click the download button, and that will download the CSV file of that. Perfect. Okay, so that is setting up your first lead ad, and that is super cheap marketing that you're going to be able to do. Now, if you want to actually set it up so that you get notified through Zapier, the next step would be to go to the link that I shared with you, and I want to scroll up to the top and show you again. It's right here, bit.ly/GoZapier, bit.ly/GoZapier. That gets you 100 free zaps. So let me go to it. Perfect. Okay, so once you're logged in and have an account, the problem with Facebook and Zapier is that if I remove this, you're going to see that Facebook lead ads is a premium option, so you're going to have a paid account. It's $20 a month. So if you plan on doing that, great. Then you're going to want to follow this. So I'm going to click on that option. And it just filtered all the things that we can do. So I could say every Facebook lead that I get, add them to Google Sheet. or every Facebook lead that I get, add them to MailChimp. So you can do all of these different ones. What I want you to do is get notified about it. So you can scroll down and try and find one that works directly within your database, which would be awesome. But the one I'm looking for is orange like this, and it says email. So you have to click show more a couple times. When you're doing this, though, take your time and scroll down to be like, oh, I could use that, or oh, I could use whatever. I just saw Gmail on the list. Most of you use that. Insightly, BombBomb, that'd be a cool one. Automatically send them a BombBomb video. We don't want that. Oh, here it is. Get emails with new Facebook lead ad leads. So that's the one you're going to want to choose. So you're going to choose use this app. Okay, you will read this, and if this is what you want to happen, then you're going to click create this app. I didn't read it for you. I say you would pause it and watch. Okay, so we're going to do, the only option is this, triggers when a new lead is created. So obviously that's our only option, so I have to hit continue. If you don't have an account created, it's going to be blank, and you're going to have to hit connect an account, and then you're going to log in with your Facebook username and password and connect it. I'm not going to do that right now because I've already done it, but it's just, you'll see, you click the button, it'll pop open, and you have to log in, and you have to confirm that they have access to your Facebook. And I'm going to hit save and continue. So now I have to choose what page am I talking about, because a lot of you have different pages, so I'm going to choose the one here. And then what form. So when a person creates a lead on that page, using what form. So I have to change it. And this is why I wanted you to rename it. Remember, we named it Webinar Exclusive Form? Because if you just had it as Untitled Form, you would totally forget what form is for what. So that's why we had to name it. Click continue. I'm going to connect and continue. It's going to do its stuff. There's a question that says, how do you get rid of the Facebook ad after it sells? Perfect question. I put a deadline that it's going to stop on Friday the 13th, so I don't even have to worry about it. But if it sells before Friday the 13th, I'll show you, remind me, but I'll show you how to do it after this. Okay, it did its little testing, so that's great. I'm going to hit continue. Okay, now I want to get an email from Zapier, and there's only one option, so I'm going to hit continue. Okay, so what email do you want to get notified? So I'm going to do my email. And you could send it up to 5 people. So if you wanted to send it to yourself plus your team, you could type out each person's email. I'm only going to do me for now, but you have to do a comma between each email for that to work. The subject, you could just leave it as new Facebook lead. But if you have a lot of different Facebook campaigns, then maybe you want the subject to say new Facebook lead 123 Fake Street. That way, when you get the email on your phone, it's the first thing you see at the top, and it just puts you in mode to know what you're talking about. Okay, so under email here, if it doesn't have it automatically selected, what do you want included in the email? So I'm going to click the button, and then I want the person's email, so I'm going to click on that, which it already gave me, so I can delete that. I want their name, so it's going to give me their name, and I want their phone number, and I might as well do the time it was created. So you can click in between these things. So it looks kind of goofy right now because it has this Facebook logo and it has step 1. But when you get the email, it's going to be plain text, and it's going to say their email, their full first name, their phone number, and the time it was created. And you can reorder these too. I could put their first name up top and hit continue. So that's really important, because if I didn't hit this plus button, basically it would just send me a blank email. So by me hitting this plus button, what I'm doing is I'm connecting the two dots, and this is where it's pulling the data from. So just make sure you have all of those selected. And if you're doing an ad where you're capturing address, city, state, province, their zip code, then you want to add those options as well. The reason why I don't see those options is because the form doesn't have them as an option to begin with. But when you create a form that does ask those questions, like, are you working with a realtor, then that will be in here as an option, and you'll choose that. Okay, so I'm going to hit continue. And that is it. It's a lot quicker to do it when you're not explaining it and you've done it a couple times. But this is basically the email that I'm going to get. It doesn't look pretty, but it makes me money. And I'll hit create and continue, and obviously you can edit it and change stuff as well. So I'm going to hit create and continue. And a question says, can we get this texted instead of email? That is an awesome question, and let's do it. I'll hit finish. Okay, so this is all done. I'm going to hit finish. Your Zap is off. You want to make sure that you turn it on. But it's thinking right now. Okay, on. Done. We are good to go. So just make sure that it's all done and working, that is turned on, and then you can click see it on your dashboard. I'm actually going to click create another Zap because there is a question that says, can we do this as text instead? So let's try that out. Nothing like the present. So I know we're going over on time because I had to redo this webinar 3 times. And I'm actually going to extend it because of this feature right here. So if any of you have to hang up, don't worry. You guys are free to go, and I'll send you the recording. So first thing is, what is the trigger? You have to search what it is, and I can see it's Facebook leads, so I'm going to click on that. When I get a new lead, I want an action to happen. Yes. I want to make sure that it's on my advertising account. Yes. I want to use the right page, so I'll do that last one we just did. All right, connect and continue. Oh, Ed says you can actually connect the text to the end of the other Zap. All right. I'm actually going to do a full in-depth webinar on Zapier later, and I'll do stuff like that. But for now, I'll just keep going because I'm already here. But thanks for that, Ed. Yeah, I was telling Ed before the recording started that I use texting, but it was through a third party, so I never had to do it. Okay, so I'm going to hit continue. Okay, what you're going to want to do is say, okay, when I get a lead on Facebook, what do I want to happen? So you can just type in the name of your database. For example, the question here was, can I get a text? So I'm going to say SMS and choose SMS by Zapier. Send an SMS. Or you can have it call you. That's cool. Okay, so I'm going to have it send me a text. I have to create an account, so I haven't done this yet. Now I'm doing this on the fly, like cold in front of you, so if I run into issues, just know that you can. Oh, okay, so US only. Okay, so for the Americans, you guys will be able to do this. For Canadians, you won't be able to, and that may be one of the reasons why I was using a third party. Okay, so I'm not going to be able to go through with this because I'm not an American, but just fill in the blanks, and maybe I'll do this webinar with an American next time on their account. That way we can go through it. So that kind of answered your question. Sorry I wasn't able to show you. Okay, so now that all that is done, you should be getting notified at least by email when you get a lead, which is awesome. So why don't we do 2 more examples? I'm going to go to Facebook. I'm going to go to my advertising. So I'm going to go create ads. So I'm going to do 2 more ads. I'm going to do an open house ad, which is going to get you an abundance of leads. I mean, most leads through the internet come through as buyers anyways, and there's no better buyer lead than the people that are ready to hop in a car this weekend. So I'm going to show you how I target those people. Again, you're going to go to the drop-down menu to click ads. We are creating an ad, and I want to do lead generation. And I'm going to call this campaign, I'll call it Open House, well, Webinar Open House. Hit continue. Okay, you're going to want to make sure that you choose the right business page that you're on. And if you saved the audience last time, you would be able to reuse it by choosing Use a Saved Audience. I'm actually going to do it from scratch just because it's some people will need that. So I'll say Oshawa. You'll do whatever city you're targeting. It will default to a 25-mile radius, which might make sense for some of you. But for me, I'm only going to do Oshawa itself. And I'm going to target just the people who live in this location. Scrolling down, 18-year-olds are not old enough. I'm going to do my 35-year-old thing again. So we're at 66,000 people. English all. Okay, so here I could do the real estate thing as an interest. Let's just see how many people. We're at like 20,000 people. Okay, so I would leave that. But if I had real estate as an interest, I want to make sure you do the exclude. And I'm not going to do it right now for the sake of time, but remember you have to exclude people based on their job title and interest. And I'm going to give you the Word document, and you can just copy and paste one at a time. And so here, right now I'm creating an ad targeting 20,000 people in Oshawa. I'm going to scroll down, leave the placements. For this one, I'm going to have it set as a lifetime budget, and there's a reason for that. Watch, when I choose lifetime budget, I'm going to see ad scheduling is going to become usable. So if I do lifetime budget, ad scheduling is now an option. So because this is an open house ad, I only want my ads running Monday to Thursday all day. Because you could even do Friday as well, I guess. Let's do Friday. I don't want to do it on Saturday and Sunday because the people are actually already in the car and talking to other real estate agents. So my ads will not run on a Saturday or Sunday. They're just going to target the people during the week who are interested in going out this weekend. Now again, I set it to a lifetime budget, and they defaulted the price to $350. You want to put that at whatever number you're happy with, like 150, for example. Oops, that's 1,500. 150. So that ad will run until $150 is spent, and so it's going to run until the next month. So they default it for a month ahead of time. Can I change that? Yeah, so you could let it run for a couple months if you wanted. But if your budget dries up within 2 weeks, then it's going to stop. So whatever comes first, you're either going to spend all your money or the date and time is going to pass. But in between that, what's going to happen is your ads will run Monday to Friday, automatically turn off on Saturday and Sunday, and then turn back on the next Monday. So it's really hands-off. I love it. So I'm going to scroll down. Continue. Rephrase that question. So does it run out as people click? So if a person clicks the ad, that there's going to be a cost incurred in that. And so there's a cost incurred in people in impressions, views, clicks, engagement, leads. All of that has a little bit of a cost that will eventually add up to $150. So once you hit that 150, it's going to turn off. Okay, so last one we did is a slideshow. This one I'm going to do as a single image, and I actually made a fancy image for you guys to have. So let me show you that. Says this weekend open houses, nice and clean. It will work with most brands and companies and teams. So let's scroll down and take a look. All right, that's a cool looking ad. Look at that. That'll really stand out. Okay, so I typed up the message already. Oh, but it didn't save because the power went out and crashed my computer. All right, we'll do it from scratch then. Okay, so you type text, and that gives you an idea of where it will go. Okay, so SDF will be down here, so it's one line of text. So the headline, I want to say, list of open houses. The call to action up top, I'm going to say, get a list of open houses or book private showings this weekend. I like that. And then I would also put, for me, I would put the area that you're targeting. So like if I want to do an ad in Oshawa, Whitby. Because I want the people who see the ad. I only targeted Oshawa, but a lot of people that live in Oshawa will live in Oshawa or Whitby. So I want them to see that in the ad because it has a higher relevancy score to them personally and more interest. Link newsfeed description, that's where you'll put if your name, your title, you're a broker or an agent, any information you need to have legally, you can put it there. Again, leave all of that stuff as is. And you can create a brand new form. So let's create a brand new form. I'm going to call it webinar. Sorry, not webinar. I want to title it open house. All right. Get VIP access to a fresh list of all the open houses this weekend. We'll set up a daily email alert to listings that match your criteria. People are going to have interest in that for sure. So the name of the button is going to say yes. Send me the listings. Perfect. Okay, questions. So here I'm going to ask for their email, their phone number, and then I also want, I want their phone number for sure. Got that, and then I want to add a question. You don't have to do this, but I want to do it just to show you that we can. Question, what type of home are you looking for? Criteria. And in their own words, they'll tell you. Some people will just say a house, condo. Other people are going to say, I want a 3-story mansion with an outdoor pool and blah, blah, blah. So you'll give them the option to, in their own words, say whatever they want. Perfect. Okay. Privacy policy next. I'm going to grab the link. Again, you have to go to your website, find your privacy policy, and copy the URL. Paste it, call it terms. Next is the thank you screen. So the thank you screen, I had a really good one typed up. I don't want to retype it because I'm killing you guys with time here. But I had a call to action that basically said, thanks for visiting our website. If you're also interested in knowing what your house values are, call or text the word values. And people were just texting me on my phone the word values. And then I knew as a person that had an interest in selling, so I would text them back or call them back. And then view website. So what's the button that you're going to send the people to? If your website automatically has a list of all the open houses done, then obviously that's where you're going to drive them. If it doesn't, then you're going to want to drive them to the listing search page so that they can see all of the listings. If you don't even have that, then just send them to your home page. Now for me, I'll send them to our open house page, which is kind of redundant. Actually, I'm not going to send them to our open house page because that's basically going to ask them to fill in their information again. So let me just drive them to our home page. This sample website is targeting San Francisco, which ideally, because of the ad that I'm creating, it would be Oshawa, but let's just go with San Francisco. There we go. Okay, that is all done. So you can save the form as you go or hit finish. So this is looking pretty nice. I'm going to hit finish. And there's the form right there. So if I scroll down, hit confirm. I'm telling you, if you guys don't get leads doing this, like, something didn't work for you, just message me because you are definitely going to be getting leads by doing this and following this process. Hit continue. All right, so there, now I have 2 ads running. Now, to answer your question, sorry, you asked a question, how do you turn an ad off, which I want to do that right now. So when you want to turn an ad off, say a house sells before the date of the ad is supposed to end, then what you do is you just log into Facebook like you normally do. Up at the top right is the drop-down arrow. You're going to click that drop-down arrow. And then you want to do manage ads. So we've been creating ads, which you've been hitting. I want you to do manage ads. And that will show you a list of your ads. So I have to click my name. Sometimes it'll take you right to it. Other times you got to click your name. So here's my list of the ads that we just created. It's not populated yet. Okay, here they are here. And I can see One is active and one is pending. So say you want to turn it off, you could literally just flip the switch. That's the easy button. You can do other things like edit, delete, and all that, but I wouldn't even do that. I would just flip them off. Flip and flip. And they just turn off. So that's to answer that question. There's a question, how do we message you? I emailed you. I'll send you the email again. My computer crashed like a month ago. They gave me a loaner while they fixed it. They gave me it fixed, but apparently it's not fixed because I'm having major issues today. So if you email me and I didn't reply, that's not typical, but you can just private message me or text me as well. Okay, so the last one I want to show you is the house value ad. So let me go create ad. And I'm going to go lead generation. Ah, man, you know what we should do? I'll do the Zapier again just so you can follow this while you're actually doing this in the future. So after you created that last open house ad, then you're going to want to go to Zapier and scroll, log in, make sure you're logged in, and scroll up to the very top. And click Make a Zap. You want to search for Facebook lead ads. You can type it in. For me, it's already on my screen, so I'm going to click it. Save and continue. Make sure it's your account. Save and continue. Use the right page. So I use this one. You'll use yours. And what's the form? So it's going to be a different form. Now I want to choose the open house form. Hit continue. And connect and continue. All right, continue. Okay, next step. Now what do we want to happen? I'm going to say email. I'm going to choose the top one. I want it to send me an email. I want the email to go to me. If you want to add more team members, do the comma and add them. The subject is going to be, can I? Facebook lead open house. What's the email that I want to get? So I need all this information. So I want their first name, hit enter. I want their email, hit enter. Phone number, hit enter. What time, and here's the question that we typed up, so I definitely want that answer included. And I don't know why it's twice. I want to add both, just to be safe. Hit enter, and then the time that it was created. Awesome, okay. You know what you could even type out? Scripts. So you could type out your open house script underneath. That way if you have new team members, they would have the script emailed to them automatically with the lead. That's what I used to do. Okay, all these are optional, so I don't need any of this. Continue. Cool. Okay, so that's basically what the email is going to look like, only with their real information instead. Create and continue, and hit finish. Oh, I have to name it. There you go. So that's your open house one. So a question, FB Premium is the only way to do all of this? Well, FB Premium is the only way to get notified. I showed you at the beginning how to go to your business page and download it. So you can still get the leads for really cheap. You just won't get notified about it. And that's Facebook's fault, not anybody else's. So the only way to do it is to use a third-party program, and to me, Zapier is the cheapest. There is another product, and I'll show you just because you asked, but it's more expensive. I think it's called LeadBridge. LeadsBridge, LeadsBridge. So these guys, that's all they do is connect it. So I mean, if I want to pay these guys, I don't know what their price is. Let's say it's $50 a month. Okay, so it's $240 a year. Let's see what monthly is. It's $29 a month. So because it's $29 a month, I'd rather pay Zapier $20 a month and then have the functionality of working with 750 other apps, whereas this one pretty much just does one thing. They might do more, but hopefully that answers you. And I'm sorry that you do have to use Zapier to get notified. But you can still do the ads that I showed you, and you would just have to download them. That's all. Okay, so that one's done. Okay, one more, seller ads. Let's create a seller ad now. So I'm going to do lead generation. So this one I'm going to target. This is really tricky stuff. In many boards and associations and areas, you're not allowed to advertise a just sold unless you have permission from the agent, and in some cases you have to have permission of both the buyer and the seller, because it depends. Like the seller could be angry that you're sharing the price. So instead of advertising a specific listing, what I would do or consider doing is setting myself up to be alerted whenever a home sells in my farm area. So I'll get notified whenever a home sells in my farm area. Then what you're going to do is come into Facebook and create an ad targeting that farm area, and you're going to talk about house values and that another home just sold, but you're not going to specifically talk about that listing. You're not going to have a photo of that property, and you're not going to have any details about that property. You're just going to be talking about your services of being a listing agent and helping other people sell. Okay, so knowing that, what you want to do is you want to type in the address of the property that just sold, 653 Idlewood, and it has a very huge radius, so I don't want that. I want a 1 mile radius. I wish you could go smaller, but you can't. And then just the people who live in that location. So I got it down to 19,000 people just in that area. So unfortunately, you can't go any smaller of an area. If you could, I totally would. You can do postal codes and zip codes as well. So I'll do a postal code. Obviously, in the States, you can do zip codes. Now, the thing I find with zip codes is that, like, that's a pretty big area. It's even bigger than the radius. So I'm better off using just the radius. But if you wanted to do postal code, you could. Okay, so we're targeting everybody who lives in that area who is over the age of 35. And I would basically leave it as that number. So people who are over 35, if they speak multiple languages, you'd want your language, obviously. Now picture this. If I am doing Oshawa, for example, let me zoom out. Oshawa. So there might be a listing sell here, a listing sell here, a listing sell here. So you could do a bunch of just sold ads targeting different postal codes around the areas that you really want to serve. So picture that. You could do an ad, and you only need the ad to run for like 3 or 4 days, or like a week or something like that. So scrolling down, I'm going to leave all that. We're going to leave this as, I'll do a $60 budget. And I am only going to let it run for a couple days. So we're on the 28th. So let me run until Monday. That's 4 days. Actually, $60 is too much for most people. I'll put it at $10. There you go. $40. So you could run a just sold ad for the cost of $40. I mean, how much do you spend for direct mail when you do direct mail just sold cards to an area? Maybe you could use that as your budgeting model. You're definitely going to get more results by doing this than you are through direct mail. No offense, direct mail. I do like direct mail and I do use it, but if I could, I would use the digital way first. Okay. Okay, so all that is good, and hit continue. Again, I made you guys an image that you guys are going to be able to download, and I'm excited to show you what it looks like. Just make sure you're on the right business page, which I already am. Upload a photo. Take a look at this photo. I designed it this morning for you. There we go. And let's check out what the desktop looks like because it's bigger. Okay, it says another home sold in your area. What's it worth now? And it's got a girl doing a fist pump with a sold sign. So that's like a universal message that you could do around every just sold. I mean, you're definitely going to get inquiries. So did I type up the sold part? Oh, let me try the recovered. Okay, so I had recovered, but not the seller one. All right. Basically, you're going to add your own text anyways. I'll just kind of fill in the blanks here a little bit. So let me just, I always do this. Type out some text. This is a trick for you to know where the text goes. Okay, so the headline for you, just remember down here. Okay, so the headline is going to be like a one-liner. I'd say another name the pocket that they live in. So if you're targeting all of a city, but this home sold in a particular neighborhood, put the name of the neighborhood, like the Glens. Another Glen home sold, or whatever. Maybe that's too specific for the just listed just sold and you need permission. So yeah, okay, keep it simple, stupid. I'm going to say another Oshawa home sold. Another Oshawa home sold, what's yours worth? You could say market update, 44 homes sold this week. Obviously, I don't know how many homes sold in your area, so you're going to have to do a little bit of research, but I could say market update, 44 Oshawa. Put the name of the city, it'll stand out more. Thinking of selling? Thinking of selling, find out what it's worth today. The link newsfeed description, remember that's where I said to put your real estate information. So Dan Wood. So that's where you could put all your legal information if you needed it, or you could use it as an extended call to action. So the call to action on this one, I'd say learn more. And we're going to want to create a new form because this is a seller form. This computer is driving me nuts. I'm really sorry, guys. Really, really sorry. Webinar. The content's good. I know it'll help you. You know what? I want to remove that and put it down below. I didn't like the preview, so that's what I like. I like the preview that it shows you the preview because I didn't like the way it looked. So then I'll put the text underneath. I want to keep it simple for sake of the time because we're going way over. A little overwhelming though. It is overwhelming. It'll be easier once you're doing it. So just pause the video and go through it as I'm doing it, and just have blind faith. And at the end it'll work. And if it doesn't, text me. Okay. So this layout, less is more. You might need your real estate information like Dan Wood. Whatever you have to have by law, you'll obviously want to have that in there as well. But I wouldn't put paragraphs because people don't like reading a lot of text, okay? The button is going to say house values. I would say Oshawa. See Oshawa house values. Nice. Okay, questions will be enter your address. Okay, so because we said enter your address, we have to actually get the address. So we're going to say address, city. You'll obviously choose the state or province depending where you are. I'm actually going to leave that. Why would you need? You know that they're in your city or in your province or state. So you just need street address and city. You might also want the postal code or the zip code, depending. I'm going to leave that as blank. But personally, if I was actually doing it, I would include the postal code or the zip code if I lived in the States. Okay, and you could leave it just as that, and that's fine. Or you could add a question, but remember, less is more. But if I was to add a question, I'd say, please describe your property. And then in their own words, they'll describe their property. I'm not going to include that because I don't want that. Privacy policy. You're going to go to your website and find the privacy policy. Copy the link. Paste. Terms, and then you need a thank you page. So because this is a thank you page and you know that people just filled in that they're looking at selling their house, possibly, then I would add a call to action that talks about buying. So do the opposite. So be like, great, you're thinking of selling, we're going to be in touch. Till then, take a look at all our listings. So take a look at all our listings. And then you'll put your website, www. And if you had a specific landing page on your website that actually had listings, you would actually drive them to that. But you'll put whatever you put there is fine because you've already got their information. This is just where do you want them to go next, and it's like the thank you page. I would also put all your information. So did you want to book any showings or have real estate questions? Please call me. So I'm going to send you guys that photo so that you can use that. Hopefully you like it. And save. Up at the top, I'm going to hit finish. All right. Now, this is the last one. We're pretty much done. I'll just go through the Zap to finish it for the sake of the video, but I appreciate your patience, guys. Okay, so I'm going to go to Zapier. I'm going to go to my dashboard to make a brand new Zap. I'm going to hit Make a Zap. I'm going to choose Facebook. And you can see third time around, like this is so easy now, even though it's overwhelming. But after you've done it a couple times, you're like, oh, okay, yeah. Choose the business page you're advertising, and then we want to choose the form, which is the house value form we just did. Connect and create. Okay, the next step is we want to get emailed about this. Mail. Type in your email plus the emails of the people you want with commas. Subject is going to be FB lead house values. Oh, that's cool. Right in the subject, by clicking the plus button, we could actually mail merge the person's address or their name. Let's do name. So when you get this email emailed to you, it's going to say FB lead, house values, and then it's going to have the person's name right in the email subject. Okay, what's the body subject going to be? It's going to be all of these. So we need their first name, hit enter, their email, hit enter, street address, hit enter, city, hit enter. I guess I didn't. I didn't save the part where it said describe your property. But if you were to add something like that, then it will be in this dropdown, right? Okay. And then date and time. Where's that? Got it. Okay. And then if you wanted, you could type out your script. You would put it down below there. And hit continue. Cool. Okay, that was... Oh, you know what? Ed inspired me. Thank you for those of you that are still here, because he said that you were able to add another Zap. So we could get emailed about it, but then if you want another action to happen, we could hit the plus button. And then you could say, well, I also want this added to my BombBomb. And then what do you want to happen? Do you want it to add a contact to a list? Do you want to add a contact to a drip? Add an email to a contact? So just know by hitting that plus button, you can add other actions and go deeper. Now, I'm not going to do that because not all of you use BombBomb, and like who knows what you want to happen. It's going to be different for each of you. But this is how robust and powerful Zapier is that it connects all these different programs with one action. Cool. Okay, that was an 1.5 hour long webinar. That went way longer than it was supposed to. So for those of you still here, I super appreciate you and your patience, and hopefully I have my computer fixed next time around. But we're going to roll with what we got. So I'm going to finish this recording. It takes about 48 business hours to get that up and running. I'll send out the email. I guess like Monday or Tuesday is when that'll happen, and then I'll keep you posted on when the next webinar is. So till the next time, guys, thank you.
Hey, if you want to close more real estate transactions, get more buyer leads, and get more seller leads, click this button right here. It'll take you to our real estate group coaching page. Also, if you like this video and want more, you can subscribe by pressing this, or you can check out some of my past videos here. Enjoy!